How would you define emotional intelligence?
You will find the power of this. IQ without EQ, it becomes very difficult.
There's no awareness.
And you may find yourself in the loop how you can read a person like a book. The real thing is when you are able to do it, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. We never demand respect, we command respect. You don't know how you feel. Most people are not aware that they need to learn something. When a child feels an emotion strongly, what does he or she do? Your beliefs are playing a role on emotions. Robots are becoming more human-like. Humans are becoming more robot-like. Emotions may want you to jump from the building or kill somebody. If you're not moving in the right direction, you are moving in the wrong direction.
Netflix.
Peace, joy, love is the world of escape and entertainment will take over. You can fool yourself that I'm on a spiritual path where the humanity is going. Some people are seen as taskmasters. I don't care. This is what you are paid for. This is what you're supposed to do. Do it. What are you doing with your life? Filmmaking makes your brain a little lazy. It's very easy to out.
Today we welcome Dr. SB Sunit. He's a double PhD in psychology and philosophy, a leadership coach to many MNCs and Fortune 500 companies. Our guest today is a rare polymath who sits at the intersection of high-stakes corporate strategy. He's a member of Mensa and the author of Eye on Eye, a work exploring the Indian philosophy of self-realization. He received the International Young Scholars Award and was invited to present collaborative research with a Stanford professor at conferences in the United States. He has worked with more than 20,000 professionals across multinationals, many of which are Fortune 500 companies globally, while simultaneously expressing his essence through filmmaking, poetry, and international Afro-Latin dance. Today we explore his unique journey of redirecting lives towards clarity, freedom, and peace.
All right, Sunit, let's talk about my favorite topic, which is emotional intelligence. I feel each one of us needs it, and it is a life changer with my experience, I feel. But would love to know your perspective because you've been working on it for years now. I'm sure you have like a deeper insight. So, take us through.
Yeah, like a few things about emotional intelligence. Unlike the IQ, EQ needs to be learned. It really needs to be learned.
Very underrated.
Yeah, because it may not be something that somebody has more of it, somebody has less, but we all need to learn it. It requires a conscious effort. That's one. Second, what we notice, especially in the context of, we're talking a lot about the corporate world, IQ becomes relevant initially, but later what really creates a distinction is people who have EQ. And it is these people who are able to really move to the top leadership, because IQ without EQ, it becomes very difficult, especially when it comes to taking people along. The people factor becomes most important. Yeah.
True.
Many times you'll find that one of the key roles of a top leader, apart from being the strategist, is also building consensus. Yeah, taking people along. Perhaps also resolving conflict. Yeah. So EQ becomes quite essential, and it is something that makes a difference to how you would succeed going forward.
How would you define emotional intelligence? Because there is so much, so many definitions.
We can put it in a very simple way. Yeah, because one can make things very complicated.
Yeah.
But to put it simply, very simple, it's understanding your emotions. A lot of people don't have the emotional literacy. you don't know how you're feeling. You're so much in the thoughts and so much into we don't know. Actually, I'm not happy. Actually, I'm upset, or I'm sad, or I'm angry, or I'm afraid. People are not able to pinpoint how they're feeling.
There's no awareness.
There's no awareness. Because the whole training and systems are designed towards suppressing or neglecting emotions. No matter how you're feeling, smile. No matter how you're feeling, agree if it's a senior. No matter how you're feeling, he's a junior, you can show your aggression. So we're just kind of behaving in a pattern without a true recognition that, am I really happy? Or if let's say something is wrong, but can you pinpoint, is it sadness, or is it anger, or is it fear, or is it anxiety? What is it? So first step, emotional intelligence, is understand your emotion. Then
How does man get to it?
how do you understand?
That's so crucial, because probably we know what we need, but most of us don't know how to.
How to understand your emotions? First step is look. If you're too busy, we won't look. No? If you're given a task, by the end of the day, you have to do it. So you're only looking at the task. You don't realize I'm slowing down, I'm making mistakes. The root is in how I'm feeling. I don't feel confident about it. Or I'm upset that why do I have to do it? And this is impacting your work, but we don't recognize it. So recognizing your emotion. You ask me, how do you recognize your emotion? Check in your body. Your body gives you the signal. Your body tells you. Body never lies. It can, so you can start recognizing it.
Are you referring to some kind of pain, or people?
There will be a
experience
sensation.
Anxiety.
Each emotion will have
Yeah.
a sensation. Am I shrinking? Am I becoming stiff? Do I feel something in my chest or in my stomach? In my head? My eyes? How is my breathing changed? Each emotion, if you will develop an understanding, each emotion has a different area of body that gets,
And I think for that, a person needs to pause
of course,
and some kind of like a 10
look,
minute
look at it.
meditation in a way.
I would use a simple word, look at it. Pay attention to it. If we pay attention, the whole world can reveal itself to us. If we pay attention. We
So
don't
the
pay
best
attention.
way to do is to kind of sit with your eyes closed and just observe.
Sit with your eyes closed if it's possible to, but sometimes you may get lost if you're not used to sitting with
Yeah.
your eyes closed, and you go
People
on
are
a
too
train
scared.
and you go on a train of your thoughts, and you may find yourself in the loop without understanding anything. So I'll give you a few things. We may not be
Sure.
able to go, because I would sit typically with people for 2 days and we will explore, and instead of just telling, they would experience things. So learning happens in an experiential way. Yeah. You
Yeah,
don't
just
learn.
tools, easiest tools.
Yeah, pointers. I would even call it pointers. Because even to use a tool, you need to learn, right? I can throw a tool at you, but how do you use it? And if you're not learn how to use it, you may abuse it. You may use it wrongly on somebody else and
Yeah.
at a wrong time or something. So I wouldn't call this, because this is not like a teaching training, but maybe some pointers. But recognizing your emotions and your body and your breath gives you a good indication. Often, if you're able to talk to somebody who wouldn't interrupt and judge you and start advising you, even that would reveal the layers of emotions. So a lot of understanding emotions.
Like a counseling.
Even deep listening. I wouldn't even say counseling. If even a good friend who knows how to listen. Okay.
Like for a corporate, let's say, let's take an example of an employee, maybe middle management. Of course, there's the entire HR team or the head of HR they go to generally, to talk about their pain points. But then not necessarily they can open up.
We may or may not like to actually
Yeah.
recognize this, but we feel emotions all the time. It's not only when somebody is saying, oh, you're emotional. No, there is some or other feeling always there, pleasant, unpleasant. We're every single day, it's changing very fast. The traffic, the person, you see somebody's face and you feel certain emotion. So
I'm
you
wondering
feel,
what are you feeling looking at me right now.
I'm very happy here talking about emotions, definitely.
Thank you for that validation.
Absolutely,
But please, let's carry
absolutely.
on.
So, which interestingly connects to the next point, is not just recognizing your own emotion, it's also being able to recognize somebody else's emotion.
What people are feeling around you.
Absolutely. Again, their body language is telling you that. Body language, if you can read, it's fascinating to explore this whole world of body language.
Yeah.
How you can read a person like a book. Smallest gestures, smallest chin, smallest eyeball movement is telling a lot about the person. The postures, the gestures, the tones, the eyes, the nostrils, everything is telling you about how the person is.
Wow, it's pretty deep.
Absolutely. It's
We should
fascinating.
do a segment on that.
It's fascinating. On each thing, we can do an entire, not just a segment. We do, like, I can sit with people, I can train people for 2 days in when you do actually learn and how to modify your body language to create a certain impact. So it's a fascinating world. So emotional intelligence is recognizing your emotions, recognizing others' emotions. And then what do you do about it? That's also part of intelligence. I'm feeling nervous, I'm feeling anxiety, but I have to stand up and give a presentation. And it's very important. If I screw it up, it's going to have a big impact and da 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 da. And
So much fear.
And you notice something is happening. Now, how do you regulate it? How do you manage it? So there are a number of skills for that as well. So, and these are skills. It takes time to learn a skill. It took you some time to learn driving, right? You don't just take it and go in the traffic. And then once you get better, you can handle even most difficult situation. And once you become good, you could be the person who stops fights. And then if you become even better, maybe you can stop some wars.
Amen to that.
Why not?
We need so many more people like that.
We need these mediators who are able to relate,
peacemakers,
empathize, and to bring people to their senses, to bring people to their nature. And so in a nutshell, that is emotional intelligence. And
for someone who wants to start from scratch, let's say I have realized that I need this. It's going to upgrade my life. It's going to make it like much better than what it is. How do I start? And what's the process?
Yeah, work with people initially. A lot of things can be done alone, but I think as humans, we're becoming less and less able to take support.
Yeah, true.
We are getting, for everything, if you're going to AI.
Oh my God, that's
it's
another
exactly. We know
upcoming challenge.
We know that AI has its own bias. It may, strengthen certain biases about you, your own biases about yourself. Working with humans is the best way. The whole Guru Shishya Parampara, or learning from experts. So. Again, I don't want to make it like, you need experts for everything. No, we have our own intelligence. But often people feel a little lost, struggling and grappling by themselves.
Yeah.
So somebody...
on a daily basis, what are the practical things that I can do to start? Let's say today I've realized and I want to kind of start scheduling something from tomorrow.
I would say a number of things. And it depends on what is available to you, what is your situation. But broadly speaking, I would say if somebody is really keen, first step is always recognition. Most people are not aware that they need to learn something.
Yeah.
See, the first thing you learn or first thing you become aware of is what you're not aware of. Oh, I wasn't even aware that emotional intelligence could be a crucial skill, and actually it's making a difference. So educate yourself. How you can educate yourself? Of course, you can watch. Perhaps in this moment you're realizing something. You can read. You can understand intellectually. That's always superficial, but nevertheless, it can be a first step if you're that kind of a person who likes to read, who likes to understand. Before I try things, I read the manual. Yeah. If there's an opportunity for you to participate in a program, that's the best thing that you can do. But whatever modalities are available to you, either self-learning or learning with somebody or group learning, the elements are going to be something that makes me aware of my own emotion. Something that makes me more emotionally intelligent about understanding, reading people's emotions. And the most interesting and crucial part is, how do I manage it? So if I have to give you a few skills or a few tips, it's easier to deal with emotions or understand them when you do it with somebody who's listening to you deeply. By yourself, you're likely to get lost. And I'm saying this initially. Of course, eventually you could recognize within yourself. But most of the times in the beginning, when emotions are strong, people get carried away by their emotions and on those chain of thoughts. And then you're just creating scenarios in your head. You're running the film. You're further feeling that emotions. And nobody wants to go there, because you look at it and it starts becoming bigger.
Yeah.
It's like a cupboard that you have been throwing things in without ever sorting it. And one day when you open the cupboard, everything,
It's all falling on you.
and you pick it up again and you say, close it. Let me distract myself by drinking or by, just doing something, or put on a film or escape. Yeah. So you recognize that, okay, how will I be able to understand my emotions? Often an easy skill available to us as humans, which is a very natural intelligence, which children have, and we lose it, is when a child feels an emotion strongly, what does he or she do?
Cry, express.
Number one, express, which we have stopped doing completely. Our faces remain the same. They neither show anger nor show happiness or sadness or fear. We don't express. So express is one of the easy way to actually understand. Once you start expressing, you will realize how much is there inside. Otherwise, you don't know. So emotion, we call it emotion, energy in motion. There is an energy, there's a charge. Every emotion has a charge and it wants to do something. If you're happy, you want to jump. If you're sad, you want to shrink. If you allow it to happen,
It's released.
you will understand it. In the expression, you understand. Now, we don't have a society which encourages, and it may not be appropriate. It may not be the situation where you can. So can you consciously find yourself places, spaces, situations where you can express emotions? And it works best if there's somebody else. So what a child does, when the child is, let's say somebody bullies the child in the school, or somebody hits, what is the child gonna do? It's gonna come home, find mom, and tell what happened in the school today, right? This happened today, this person, I'm never gonna talk to him, I'll never play with him, nothing. He's a bad person, blah, 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 blah. He's expressed it. To who? Somebody who he knows who's gonna listen to me and say, oh, is it? Okay. And the mom is gonna be, no, okay. And he's gonna be, he's gonna feel unjudged, expressed. And now you'll see that this kid goes tomorrow again, plays with the same kid, because he's free of that emotion, right?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Right.
They say all these things and they're fresh because but that doesn't happen with us. Oh, you insulted me today and I'm keeping it all inside me. Tomorrow I see you, it's still there. And I think of that. And people don't understand why we have this cold vibe, why I don't cooperate when you ask me for help. And when I subconsciously plot that you fail, where is it coming from? Because I had this unresolved, unexpressed emotion. So we need to be able to express, which can work better when there is somebody who is listening to us without judging and immediately without becoming an advisor. Because people immediately become advisors. Oh, you need to forgive. You need to have a bigger heart. You are grown up. Yeah, don't stop, don't fuss over the small things. And again, we curb our emotions. So it's important to have such people in our lives. And that's why we find always that women do much better with stress than men, because
They're
women
more expressive.
slightly more available to expressing. But again, we noticed it's changing. The trend is changing. As a society, we are becoming less expressive and more isolated. And we aren't building enough relationships where we can be this, where we can show who we are without being judged,
Yeah.
without being given advice, and just accept it and then move on. And so these are some of the immediately accessible tools that we have. And you can educate yourself how to become a better listener, how to become better at expressing and seeking support,
Both sides.
both the sides. And this will help you learn about your emotions, about somebody else's emotions. And if we are able to do that, part of this is itself managing, because most of the emotions many times don't need anything to be done. It just needs an outlet.
Yeah.
And this is most important, and that is one of the most essential ingredients of a good relationship. So these are the building blocks.
Would you say that's also like empathy as an attribute?
Yeah, an ability to understand. But empathy, we typically talk about others. We don't even understand our own emotions.
Yeah.
So yeah, start understanding, because a lot of behavior actually is coming from emotion. It may not be seen on surface, but that's where they're coming from. So where is the insecurity? Where is the fear coming from? Where is the aggression coming from? Yeah.
Would writing also help? Like journaling?
It works for some people.
Because that's also a way to express.
It works for some people. Yeah. It depends on different things work for different people. Yeah.
It can be one of the tools.
Yes.
Okay. So what next? Like, let's say I've found my expression. I have also educated myself the basics. Are there more tools where I can keep working, advancing?
Yeah, you can educate. It's a lifelong process. You can educate yourself in really understanding the root of emotions. As we spoke, if you have some people, where you can, they're expert listeners. Therapists are expert listeners who can really take you in a less time to the issue, to the deeper, and it will work. So
any psycho-spiritual techniques? Because you have so beautifully blended the two worlds.
My focus in general, if you notice this, is not so much on techniques. I know people love tools and techniques, but I say that the flip side is that sometimes people become too much into tools, techniques, without understanding the essence. And then the tools either don't work or we abuse the tools. So understand the essence, and you will find which tools are helping you do that. Right? So that's always has been my focus. Understand the essence. So as I mentioned, yes, one of the things is that can we have people who can listen to us? All physical activities, dancing, moving, it's also going to help you. Actually, anything you go deeper and become very true with, it will also bring out emotions and allow you some kind of expression. So
physical,
even yoga, if you go deep into yogasanas, it's also going to help you release certain emotional patterns. So you're going to actually witness. But what I initially was mentioning are more direct tools available. So yeah. And then the question is also a little bit look into the patterns of your emotions. So you can again read about how cognitions, how our beliefs are playing a role. So once you go into beliefs, you will understand, so a lot of work has been done how certain irrational beliefs also create certain emotions. So you can educate yourself on these things. Wherever you find
that you would recommend?
Yeah. So there are books on emotional intelligence, the concept made very popular by Daniel Goleman. There are also rational about REBT, rational emotive behavioral therapy. Albert Ellis has done a lot of work on how your cognition, your beliefs are playing a role on emotions. So plenty of resources. I think today the dearth is not about knowledge or information. Whatever
In fact,
you
it's,
look
I think,
for,
overloaded. Yeah.
whatever you look for is available. idea is how much you can bring it to your real life. Because if it remains book and if it remains intellectual, that's why I don't focus much upon it, because it's not that difficult. One search will tell you the top 10 books or top 10 programs or courses, but make it happen in your life. The real, the proof of pudding, the real thing is when you are able to do it, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now.
In the moment.
One step, one small step right now. And that is going to make all the difference. Not otherwise, the books would have changed the humanity.
I wish. But personally, Sunit, like what all methods or tools that has helped you become better, evolve into.
I went deep. Went deep into the whole therapy. There's also co-counseling communities.
Okay.
Where you don't go into, where you don't seek a professional counselor, but you educate yourself to learn how to listen and how to express.
Okay.
And you co-counsel. You counsel each other.
That's such a good thing.
And there are communities like this, perhaps growing globally for last, I would say, like 50, 70 years.
Wow.
Global communities.
Can you name some?
And you wouldn't hear about them because they're so honest that they wouldn't advertise. It's always through word of mouth.
Yeah.
I have experience. So I've spent hours sitting and talking about this, about that, and this is happening, this is bothering me. And then you listen to, and then you generate such great insights.
I'm sure.
Into, yeah.
It's a beautiful concept.
Absolutely, absolutely. So find, once you are ready, once you put your mind in the right direction, you will find whatever resources which will help me that. Because for somebody, it could be yoga, pranayama. That's the first step, that I'm spending time with myself, that I move my breath, or I start going for a walk and a little bit I'm out of this chain of thoughts, or I have people. But as I said, the deeper you want to go, everything can help you a little bit move the energy, little bit distract yourself, break the pattern. But the real thing is going to be, can I really look at it? Can I stay at it? And it's little difficult to do by yourself initially. So take some help, find people, listen to each other. I would say one thing you can start from today, all of us can start. If you live with somebody, if you have close friends, if you have a life partner, spouse, whoever, make a contract. Or if you have children, if you have a mother, make a contract. Every day we're going to sit together, let's say for 10 minutes. 5 minutes, I will talk whatever I'm feeling, whatever comes to my mind, and you're going to listen to me deeply without giving me advice, without judging me. And then we're going to switch roles. You're going to talk, and for 5 minutes, I'm going to listen to you. You will find the power of this. You will come so close. You will start understanding. It's very powerful. And if you have more time, let's say 10 minutes.
It's like quality.
Absolutely. People don't realize, our concept of good relationship has become, are we going out to eat together? Are we watching films together? I would say number one thing,
Heartful communication.
just sit and talk whatever you're feeling. Do this and you will see the magic that it will create. You won't need anybody to give you answers. Answers will come from inside you.
Wow.
So I always give an example that you have all the intelligence inside you. You have all the clarity inside you. You have all the answers to all your questions. So the clarity of sun is right now blocked by the cloud of emotions. Yeah? Emotions are not good guides for action. Emotions may want you to jump from the building or kill somebody.
Yeah.
They are not good guides for action.
True.
But can you ignore them? No. So emotions don't need to be, they should not be acted upon, but they need to be understood. So find
Addressed.
ways, understand them, and they will reveal itself. And sun of clarity, emotions, cloud of emotions, if you allow them to pass, if you express them, you will start suddenly seeing. So I'm worried about something, and if I talk about it, this is my worry, I'm feeling this. Towards the end, you will find yourself much lighter, and then new ideas will come. I think I can handle like this. Nobody needs to tell you anything. You
So
are
simple.
you are the expert on your life. Nobody knows your life better than you.
I love that.
Nobody
Amazing
can
metaphor.
tell you what to do. But what somebody else can do, or what you can do for somebody, is be that space in which these clouds can pass and the clarity can shine again. And this clarity is of clarity of intelligence, clarity of joy, clarity of love. Everything is inside if we allow it to come out. So can we be spaces, or can you create a space? So I was working with some teachers.
Nice.
So most of the work was corporate, but I was on a retreat, and there also was a school. And I was sitting with teachers, and I said, can we start this, or your interactions with children when you start? Can you start the session by just checking on people how they're feeling? Where everybody says something about, this is what I'm feeling right now. And the energy suddenly moved. And as a result, the groups are so close. What brings us close is not my ideas and I know this much and I'm so much and I did this and I went here. No. But when I say, I really felt this. And now we are seeing each other. Really. You, because that's what human is. We are not just information bits. We are feeling beings.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
so this is something we can do from today. And if you don't have anybody who can listen to you, then you don't have the right kind of people around you. If you can't show yourself fully, said, no, I can't tell this to him. I have to protect my image. I have to show only this image. I can't show that I am actually feeling vulnerable. If you don't have such people, get such people in your life. How to
confident.
Absolutely. And I say, whatever you want, what is the best way to get what you want? Start giving it. First step, you be that person where people can come and tell anything and feel safe. What does it mean by feeling safe? That you will not judge and you will not tell it to others and gossip about it. That's the safety. And if you feel that safety, you become that person. And when you become that person, you'll also attract such people around you who are willing to be. You'll inspire them to be like that. So this is what I always say. Whatever you want, start giving it. You want love? Start giving love. I want people to trust me. Okay, trust people. Show them that this is what trust is. And they'll be inspired to give it to you. You want respect? Start giving respect, and they will know what it feels to be respected, and they'll be inspired to give respect.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we never demand respect. We command respect.
Yeah.
Be the person who people would want to respect. And respect is not hierarchy. Respect is acknowledgement.
Human.
Is acknowledgement, is honoring your presence, is trusting your intelligence, which right now may not be accessible. You may look frantic with emotions and this, but deep down there's an intelligence. A child, when the child is calm, it goes back to his nature of, okay, I can do it. I'm calm. I know I can handle it. But you need to give that some time. Can we do this for each other? That's the best emotional intelligence.
Beautiful. But what are the changes that you have seen in people, especially now also talking about corporates, when they start practicing this?
People, the changes are, you will start seeing changes in your health. 99% human health problems are psychosomatic.
Let's double tap on that.
You'll start sleeping better. You'll start breathing better. Your blood pressure, and don't take my word for it. There is data, there is a lot of research about it. So much research about people who live long. Who are these people who live long? Who have social structures where they go and talk and do things together.
Communities.
Absolutely. It's one of the biggest, predictors of living long, that you have community. Of course, you eat well, you move, but what will inspire you to eat well and move?
Human
Yeah,
connections.
what is it that you look forward to? So we are social beings. We should not forget
Yeah.
that. We should not forget that.
I think with AI, this is becoming all the more scarce for us, right?
Robots.
There's so much more need to build communities.
Robots are becoming more human-like. Humans are becoming more robot-like. Yeah.
Look at the irony.
Humans have to prove to robots that they are humans, right? You have to prove that you're a
Yeah.
human. A machine is asking you, are you a human? And the machine is showing you all the traits of, how you see how the AI talks now, They say,
AI is like
I
become a
think,
therapist.
okay, it'll show all the human-like things. So,
I think we are just making peace with it.
so the real question is what it is to be a human. I think that's the deepest question.
Yeah.
What it is to this question is going to be very interesting now.
It is. I mean,
Are you a problem solver? A machine can solve the problem. What is being a human? Are you somebody who can write a poetry? Well, the machine is writing a better poetry. Machine is making better music. Is coming up with better ideas, better thoughts, better words, better impact than what it is to be a human.
let's dig deep into that. In fact,
We need to
the
explore.
AI impact.
We need to explore that.
Yeah.
We absolutely need to explore that. And going back to the world of work, I think there's a lot of discussion about it. So
What's your perspective?
find out. I think it's an opportunity for us. Again, everybody is in a different position, financially, materially, but wherever you are, I think we can start from where we are. I always tell, when it comes to transformation or growth, it's not important how fast you're moving. Only two things are important. Are you moving? And life is very interesting. You have to move. Everything is
Yeah.
moving. If you're not moving in the right direction, you are moving in the wrong direction. If you're not getting healthy, you are getting unhealthy.
Yeah.
You can't, nothing
Never
is static.
stops.
Nothing is static. So all I'm concerned is that are you moving in the right direction? And nobody is there to preach you what is the right direction. You yourself, your health, your emotional health, your physical health, your social health are indicators of, am I moving in the right direction? Are you sleeping better? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling meaning, joy, love, peace? If that is happening, if that is happening, we're moving in the right direction. Doesn't matter how fast. So see what takes you there. So yeah.
I mean, going ahead, in the future now that AI is going to grow and we're going to have so many machines doing most of the work, what are the conscious things that we need to retain and sustain to create a better world from where we are today?
First, we need to look what we are doing. First question to ask is, what are we doing with our free time? What do you think most humans are doing with their free time?
Netflix.
Right. So the very likely scenario for vast majority of humans is the world of escape and entertainment will take over, as it is already happening.
Yes. The gaming and the...
It's gonna happen. So the guard has less work to do now. Earlier it had to check the entry, open the gate, close the gate, but now there are sensors.
And you see them constantly on phones.
On the phone.
Oh my god, it's scary actually sometimes.
So this is what is gonna happen to the brain, because brain is so used to activity. If you take away some activity which was required for survival, it will keep doing the activity, which will be escape and entertainment. And it's the drug which becomes less and less effective. Have you noticed that because it's a kind of an addiction, distraction, the same amount will not have the same effect. It will have diminishing effect, so people consume more.
Yeah.
So we'll keep going in that direction unless some of us wake up and say, no, that's not necessarily where I want to go. I recognize that my brain can be a much more powerful machine. My life can be a much more than escaping into entertainment and being ignorant and sleeping through life. Maybe I can open my eyes more, look around more, understand more, and maybe make more conscious choices and become more aware of how am I living. And maybe such people are able to respond to their surroundings in a better way and not get caught unaware.
Wow.
That's how evolution works. If you're caught napping,
you've missed the bus.
You're wiped out. You're wiped out. It's very easy to wipe you out. So what are the conscious people doing right now? Conscious people are trying to understand, how am I operating? What is operating me? Most of us are governed by our unconscious, right?
Yeah.
We don't even know what is operating me. So you're trying to become aware of it. And that is the true meditation. That is the awareness. It's not sitting cross-legged or chanting a mantra. All these can take you for a ride. In fact, you can fool yourself that I'm on a spiritual path. I do this, I do that. That's not going to transform you. What's going to transform you is a deep insight into operations of your mind. And that will reveal itself only when you're paying attention. And you can pay attention to it only when you have that space. If you're going to fill up your space all the time with projects, ambitions, and everything, you're not going to have the space. So step one, create the space for yourself to look within, to look around, become aware of what is happening, and slowly start recognizing what is unfolding in your life.
I mean, we both wish, and I think a lot of us wish, that people become more conscious about this and be more prepared, I think
life has, the way I look at it, life has its own movement. Yeah. So some people will, some people won't. That's how I look at it. I think question for you and me is really starting with ourselves, not to get lost in the systemic thinking or just society and be lost into the wide conversations about where the humanity is going. Stop and look, where is my life going?
Your own journey.
Where am I? And not in a long way or something. Right now, today. Do I feel I'm shrinking slowly more, or am I expanding more? Am I getting more peaceful, or am I getting more stressed? Am I becoming more loving, more joyful, more happy, or am I slowly becoming, more weaker, more struggling? So this is the question. These are the questions to ask ourselves, and not to judge ourselves for that, not to run away from the answers, but to stay at it. And then my definition of intelligence is an ability to give a fresh response to a fresh situation. Situations are changing all the time. If we are able to be in tune with ourselves, then we are going to be guided. Not by the formula, not by the expert, not by a book, not by a concept, but by living intelligence who would respond to what is required in that situation. So all we need to do, and that intelligence is already there inside us. It's there around us. That's how runs the universe, perhaps. But how am I going to be available to it? If we stop the clutter of the mind, if we are not just lost into some blind pursuits, if we are willing to pause, as you had said, if we create that space and we can help each other do that, if we do that, we are somewhere igniting that flame of awareness, and that is going to light the path. We don't need to see the entire path. We just need to see what is in front of me, and one step at a time. And I think that's what you and I are doing here for ourselves, or whoever it is, because what am I doing for myself? That's the thing that I can do for others. So I think what we're doing is that, can I be more aware of myself, of my surrounding, who's around me, what is around me, and am I responding just in a mechanical way, in a patterned way, because that's the physical action of habit, and that's the unintelligence, or am I able to actually break away from some old patterns because past is not there anymore, and give a fresh response to a fresh situation? That's what we're doing.
Wow. I think you're providing that space for self awareness. But this also brings me to a question, Sunit, that let's say empathy, you've developed in you, but there's this dichotomy of empathy and accountability in corporates, where as a leader, let's say you're very empathetic, but at the same time, you want accountability. How do you balance both?
If you get caught into concepts, you're going to get caught into patterns. So there are some people who are all the time, oh, I understand this is your problem. Oh, and they're seen as too soft and never get work done. Some people are seen as taskmasters. I don't care. This is what you are paid for. This is what you're supposed to do. Do it, and you deal with your life wherever you want to deal with. Now we have these two extremes. Life is not black and white. Intelligence is showing where to show what response. And there's no formula for this. There is no formula for life.
It's intuitive.
That's the intelligence in that moment. Now, how you cross Indian street. There is no formula in India. When do you stop? When do you show hand? When do you say, I'm going to dare and he will stop? When you know he's not going to stop, there is no formula. So my friends from the West, when they come, they can't cross the road. Because things are supposed to work with the formula. How do you cross? Like, what is the formula? When do you know? When do you start and when do you not start? When do you know that we show a hand and somebody will stop? When you know?
Yeah.
So
another level of faith we are showing.
So what my friends, when they come from the West, they either I'm holding their hand and taking them. I said, just do what I'm doing. Be with me. Or one of my friends' mom, and she would take a rickshaw
to cross the road.
What?
This is
I'm not kidding. This is a fact.
insane.
Because it's too stressful. So I'm saying,
It's paranoia.
no, but this is the reality. When in chaos, the world is getting chaotic. No book, no formula is gonna guide you, but it's your own intelligence. So the formulas can't use you. You can't, in other words, there's somebody very beautifully said, you can't use the truth. Even if this is true, empathy is true, let the truth use you. So let that awareness guide you in this moment. I need to be like this. So that's the art, no?
Keep it intuitive.
That's where life becomes art and not a skill. You build skills, but eventually the artists you love are not somebody who can have the perfect tone, perfect timing, but who has an art. You don't know how you do it. How you do it, that's your art. So you live life. You live life like an art. You become an artist. And that happens when you're practiced enough and when you know your craft. But ultimately, that's where your art is going to shine.
Whoa. Wow. That was a perfect way to, I think, end this segment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just an introduction, of course. We would go deeper.
Each of these things, one can actually go very deep in,
But this
Absolutely.
is a good, I think, starting point for people to at least get on the journey.
It's like, these are like different igniters, It's if something strikes something inside you, and then that creates that ripple effect of you exploring that journey. I think that is what.
Yeah, all you need is that intention.
One spark can create a fire, a forest fire. And that's the power of that's the power of thoughts. That's the power of an idea, and that's the power of one action. So never underestimate power of one person, or power of one idea, or power of one change that you bring about right now.
Taking the first step.
That first step, one thing can really make a difference,
Amazing. Wow. Thank you for enlightening us into emotional intelligence.
That's what the words say here very interestingly, to enlighten. Yeah. And I like to look at enlightenment in both the way, the light has two meanings. One is enlighten, is like the shining that sun, the light, but also become light. Don't live very heavily.
Wow.
So enlighten in both the ways.
Love that. I'm so grateful for this, Sunit.
Thank you.
And I look forward to so many more topics to explore with you. I think this is a lot of value that people can learn, pick up from. And like you said, even if it starts somebody's journey, I think it's a big change and transformation.
Absolutely. I think are we are all in the same on the same planet. We are all in the same journey, and we are helping each other in these journeys. We are sharing our stories, we are sharing our experiences, and each one has something to learn and something to give, and that's what we are doing together. That's the whole journey together. We all learn from each other. Whatever we learn, it's from here, and we're gonna give it here and
share it
and not take anything when we leave. So that's the journey that all of us are sharing for a limited time together, and how we make most of this journey together. Whatever time we have in this body, in this form, nobody knows how much time we have.
Yeah.
But whatever time we have, or how I like to call it, or in one of my songs, that it's only this moment. We have this moment right now. So what is happening in this moment, that's the most important, that's the most magical thing that's there for all of us, which is this moment.
All right, Dr. Sunit, let's get to the rapid fire.
Okay, bring it on.
You seem to be all prepared and set. Always. Okay, one word that describes the future of leadership.
Can I say 2 words? Inclusive and sustainable.
Lovely. The most underrated trait in a CEO.
Intuition.
Your favorite philosopher of all time.
He wouldn't like to be called a philosopher, but if I may, J. Krishnamurti.
One book every young professional must read.
Oh, wow. Every young professional must read. That's a tricky one, because there's so many different things. But can I suggest something that people, before taking up their professions, what they can read?
Go for it.
I like the title as well. It's again by J. Krishnamurti. It says, "What are you doing with your life?"
Profound. The biggest distraction for the modern world today.
I think we all know it, is the brains being hacked by micro videos.
True. Filmmaking or poetry, which is a better medium for truth?
Poetry.
Hands down.
I can tell you why. Because filmmaking it's very interesting. Just the words or just the sound and audio visual. Filmmaking makes your brain a little lazy. There's less to imagination.
Stimulation as well.
Because everything is dished out to you. But a poetry, your brain is actually much more active, because everything that you see, read is actually triggering a lot in your brain. So it's actually, even in research shows, it's much more effective than like audio, like radio. Audio is much more effective than audiovisual.
I agree. Define success in exactly 3 words.
Peace, joy, love.
Your biggest fear today.
My biggest fear is not recognizing the fear.
Killed it. 3 top movies, your favorites.
Oh, wow. Movies. I have loved movies by the Japanese director Akira Kurosawa. So there are many of them. So yeah, Rashomon, Seven Samurai, Red Beard, almost all of his movies. So I would say Akira Kurosawa and movies by him. I've also enjoyed movies by Satyajit Ray. And if I have to now, let's go out of India. I think even Manoj Knight Shyamalan. I've enjoyed his
Very
movies.
interesting choices.
The Village and The Sixth Sense and The Unbreakable. So there are many more, but these are the top of the mind.
The last one. Top 3 songs that you go to.
Oh wow. There is one very beautiful song, Hindi, by Kishore Kumar, which says, "आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता लो, पल ये भी जाने वाला है." That's the
Love
song.
it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song, a beautiful meaning. Some of the Hemant Kumar songs are beautiful also. There's one, "Tum pukar lo, tumhara intezar hai." That's a nice one. And the third song. There's one stupid song that's coming to my mind.
Sure. Go for it.
It's
Stupidity is good sometimes.
there have been many jokes and memes also about it, and but there's something very nice and modern in that music and in that song. You'll be very surprised to hear that. Ishq wala love.
I love that.
There were many
Wow.
jokes about it, when people started, I don't know what all, there would be people made many parodies about it, like pani wala water and
But surprisingly, I love that song too.
It's-
because
there's
the
something in
melody
that.
is very soothing.
there's a space in that song, and it's very simple, and it can be nice, and it I think on my Spotify it comes up. Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. Again.
It's lovely. It's been pleasure discovering such a broad canvas with you, and so many different thoughts, feelings, emotions, and yeah, it's wonderful. I think it's a great job you're doing to really bring the light to everything that we are doing. So, thank you very
It's an
much.
honor.
Thank you.